there, Erin from Morehouse Farm here with the last step of the adorable Morehouse baby booties is sewing them together. And what we're going to do here is put it together right sides facing. So you'll see the reverse stockinette on the outside and my Miss Piggy Band-Aid staring at you. Isn't that great how well it coordinates her nice blue eyes and blonde hair with the baby booties? I did not plan that. Sometimes you just get lucky. I have left a tail that's about twice as long as the edge of the booty. You can see here because that's the edge that we're going to be sewing up. And I've grabbed my darning needle and oops, wow, you can tell it's late. I'm trying to thread the other end of the needle. Oh boy. Anyway, I noticed that's what's important. So what I'm going to do is, because this is my bind off edge and it's at the very corner, I'm going to slip my needle through the opposite corner edge here so that I get a nice even join. And then I'm going to work my way down. And you can be as picky as you want on the sewing. I'm telling you it's going to be on the inside, so it doesn't really matter. But I like to try and join the purl bump on this side with the bottom of the purl bump on this side. And I'm sure there are some seamstresses in the flock who can correct my technique, but we want to get this done. Done is better than perfect. And if it's any indication out there among how long people are cooped up, I think we're going to need some baby gifts pretty soon. Well, I'm going to bet on November to be exact. So we are going to have one pair ready to go. And because you can get more than one baby gift, you'll get a hat and booties out of one skein of Morehouse Merino 3-strand, you are going to be set to go. Now I do like to just stretch this every once in a while as we're going to make sure that it stays nice and elastic. And we're just going to continue sewing on. It's a general join. The little kiddo is not going to get too rambunctious with these, I promise. So it doesn't have to be a super tight sewing job. And in fact, you want it to be loose and stretchy so you can get it on their little feet. And these are really great booties because they do not get kicked off the way so many little baby socks do. That's why I love these as my go-to present. Okay, now other trick as we round the corner. Right here we do have this last bit of yarn, which is the tail from the cast on. If you never get that the right length with a long tail, bear with us, we do have a video for that. But here's a great little trick, especially on these booties. Lay it in the trench there. We are going to darn that in as we sew this together. So as long as it stays underneath the yarn that loops over the top, and I know that might be a little hard to see as you've got the same color going on, but I'm just grabbing the cast on edge here and the cast on edge on the other side and laying that extra tail down so that it's not going to go anywhere. And that's one less piece of darning I need to do. Isn't that sneaky? I tell you, if you do this long enough, you're going to figure out all kinds of little tricks. Oops, make sure my needle doesn't pull the yarn through all the way. Okay, and we're getting down to the wire here, to the very end. Pretty exciting. Because did I leave enough? Yep, just enough. Okay. If your needle gets too short to tie a knot, you can always poke the end through that's holding the yarn. That gives you a little bit of extra length sometimes. That's another trick that I've learned. Okay, stretch this out so it's nice and stretchy. And while we're still attached, we're just going to thread the last bit through. And take it through, longer maybe than you think you need. Pull it out the other side, and then when you stretch it, it disappears. All right, this was just a little bit longer than I think I needed. So either I can keep stretching until it disappears, and then when I turn the booty inside out, voila, they're hidden. And there we go. So now the last thing we have to do is we need to work on the ties. And all we need to do for that is either crochet a length or, and I'm going to use the yarn from the other end of this, ball is we can always finger crochet. So you don't need a crochet hook, or if you don't like a crochet hook, don't worry about it. You're going to tie a slip knot. We've talked about this many a time to get started with different cast-ons. And if you're finger crocheting, what you're going to do is hold this end in your left hand or your non-dominant hand. If you want to go the other way, that's fine too. And then you're going to reach through the loop, grab the working yarn, pull it. Reach through the loop, grab the working yarn, and pull it. See how this loop gets to be nice and big? You can pull it down, cinch it up at any time, but that's the idea. Reach through the loop, grab the working yarn, pull it. Reach through your loop, grab the working yarn, pull it. Reach through the loop, grab your working yarn, and pull it. And if you are able to grab the working yarn in this hand, it'll give you a little something to pull against, and your loop doesn't end up quite so big. That's just something that helps you work on the tension as you go along. And so forth. See how that's making a really neat change stitch? Do that until it's long enough to go around the booty and then tie it in a knot. And then we'll thread it through. Happy knitting from Morehouse Farm.